everybody, my name is Erin and this is Waiting Moose, where I talk about books. And today I'm going to be talking about the CBC Canada Reads Longlist, which was announced earlier this month. I think it was this week, maybe last week. It was announced and I made the decision, the crazy decision, to start reading the long list. So I am going to talk to you guys today about the books that are on that long list. There are 15 of them, and I guess my plans for the year. So to let you know a little bit more about this book award, it is not current books, or it's not books that have been written in the current year, or even, I shouldn't say this, I don't even think it's the previous year. These are both 2017s. So I'm not completely sure about the publication dates on these, because I feel like one is older, it's like 2014 or so. So I'm not really sure about the choices of how these books get on the long list. But this year they did choose a theme. And the theme this year is One Book to Open Your Eyes. And so these books challenge readers to look differently at themselves, their neighbors, and the world around them. Last year, I read The Break by Katharina Vermette, and she's a Métis or Native Canadian author who wrote a book about the experience of Indigenous women in Winnipeg. And it's not like it's a fiction. It's fictional, but it's it was hard to read. So I think it would have fit into this category as well, except it was on the list last year. So this year I have the list of books. So the first book is Saints and Misfits by S.K. Ali. And it's a debut YA novel, and it follows a Muslim American teen named Jana Yusuf. Jana is a sophomore in high school who's struggling with balancing her family, friends, school, and her crush on a boy who isn't Muslim. When a respected member of her community attempts to assault her, Jana must face her rage and confusion. Next is The Boat People by Sharon Bala. This is told through alternating perspectives of a refugee, his lawyer, and a woman tasked with deciding who gets to stay in Canada. The Boat People is the moving story of what happens when a group of Tamil refugees reach Vancouver's shores. So, like, these sound so fascinating. They're so fascinating for me. Next up is Suzanne by Anne Barbeau-Lavalette, translated by Rhonda Mullins. This is an English translation of the celebrated 2015 novel La Femme qui Fuit. Suzanne is Anne Barbeau-Lavalette's imagined account of the life of her estranged grandmother. A novel that blurs the lines between fact and fiction, Suzanne tells the story of more than 8 decades of art and political history through its portrait of a conflicted woman and her granddaughter's search for understanding. Now, Pickles Reads and I have kind of been chatting about this list we a little bit on Twitter when it first came out, and I said I was kind of iffy on a few of the books, and she said the same thing. And so we discussed which ones we were like, I don't know if that's going to be my bag. And this was one of mine. I was like, I don't know if that's really going to be my kind of a book. I'm not great with the whole, and so this was one of the ones that I thought I wasn't going to like. And she actually thought it was going to be one of her favorites. So I thought that was interesting. So now I really want to read that book, even though I don't want to read the book, because I want to see if our opinions are that far apart on it when we actually read it. Next, we have Brother by David Chariandi. Okay, so the winner of the 2017 Rogers Writers Trust Fiction Prize, Brother, takes us inside the lives of the mixed heritage sons of Trinidadian immigrants. Rooted in Chariandi's own experience growing up as a person of color in the Toronto suburb of Scarborough, the novel is a beautiful meditation on discrimination, agency, grief, and the power of human relationships. Tomboy Survival Guide by Ivan Coyote. Ivan Coyote's Tomboy Survival Guide is an emotional collection of poignant coming-of-age memories. It's one of those words that you know, when you read it in your head, it's easy to say, but when you try to say it out loud, it's like, oh, wait, that's not right. Coming of age memories spanning Yukon and BC. With profound honesty and good humor, Coyote tells the kinds of stories that create space for all of those who don't fit neatly into the boxes society expects them to. That one sounds fascinating as well. Precious Cargo by Craig Davidson. Today, Craig Davidson is a celebrated author who was shortlisted for the 2013 Scotiabank Giller Prize and has parts of his short story collection, Rust and Bone, adapted into an award-winning film. But in the summer of 2008, he was just another failed writer who needed money in the bank and answered a job ad for bus drivers, setting off a year-long encounter with a group of special needs children who would forever change his life. So I think this one's going to be like nonfiction, right? But it's going to be it's more of a memoir. So I'm looking forward to reading that one because I think bus drivers have one of the toughest, school bus drivers have an extremely tough job. They have I can't imagine having that role. My uncle actually does it, so there's that. The Marrow Thieves by Sherry Dimeline, or Dimaline, anyway, Dimeline? I love reading names I've never read before. It's always such a good idea to do it the first time on camera. In the dystopian world of Sherry Dimaline's The Marrow Thieves, climate change has ravaged the earth and a majority of the world's humans have lost their ability to dream. In North America, indigenous people are on the run, hunted for their bone marrow, which is believed to restore dreams. Together they seek a new future in the old lands where they hope to find themselves free from capture and imprisonment. Gee, this was another book that I struggled with, that I did not think I was going to enjoy. And the reason I didn't think I was going to enjoy it is because of the dystopian future. I kind of overdid it on dystopians back in the Hunger Games Divergent days, and I'm really, really hesitant to read them now. At the same time, I'm reading another book off the list right now, and I feel like maybe The Marrow Thieves should be on my list to read fairly quickly because it seems to be a good follow-up for the book I'm reading, because I see a tie into the residential schools here, and it'd be interesting to see if that's kind of where the story idea comes from. American War by Omar El Akkad. Set in the near future, Omar El Akkad's debut novel, American War, envisions a world where government restrictions on fossil fuels have sparked a second civil war in the United States. Growing up in the midst of this conflict, Sarat Chestnut is shaped by violence and displacement in ways she could never have imagined. Now, this doesn't give me enough information to feel like, woohoo, I want to read this. I'm a little hesitant on this one as well. Yeah, just because I'm not sure where that's going. Scarborough by Catherine Hernandez. Now, I actually have this one right here. I requested it at my library and it came in already. And I know Jen at Remembered Reads has already read this. And I vaguely remember her being a little ambivalent on it. I know it wasn't a 5-star read for her. So I'm interested in reading this partly for that, because I know someone who's already read it and I want to see. But also, I'll give you the little blurb for it. With this novel, Catherine Hernandez tells the multi-voiced story of a neighborhood that refuses to fall apart in the face of poverty and crime. Weaving together the stories of 3 children growing up in different circumstances with the stories of 3 adults who are doing their best to help them out, Scarborough is a vibrant and emotional debut. The Measure of a Man by J.J. Lee. The story of a father, a son, and a suit. J.J. Lee's The Measure of a Man traces the author's journey altering his father's old suit as an act of remembrance. A finalist for the 2012 RBC Taylor Prize and the 2011 Governor General's Literary Award, wow, literary award for nonfiction, the memoir turns suit making into powerful prose, and one family's story into a tale of intergenerational reconciliation. Again, that one kind of sounds fascinating to me. Outstanding in the Field by Sandra Perron. Now this was one of the ones I thought was going to be fascinating. I was here for this book. And Courtney Pickles Reads, Courtney at Pickles Reads was like, no. She's not a big fan of nonfiction. In some cases, I don't really want to put words in her mouth, but yeah, I don't want to put words in her mouth, so I'm not gonna. And she's gonna comment to this if she watches it and goes, really? You think that's what I said? That's not what I said. So we'll just skip that. But this was one of the ones she was not looking forward to because of the nonfiction angle on it. Becoming the first female infantry officer in Canada's history was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream for Sandra Perron. But being in the military wasn't what she expected. Penned 20 years after her discharge, Perron's memoir, Outstanding in the Field, chronicles her complicated relationship with the Canadian Forces, one of institutional sexism and harassment, but also of pride in service. So if, that's my kind of, I enjoy a memoir. I want to learn more about the experiences of women in various different careers, and the military is one that has a long history of being very masculine. So I can see where sexism and harassment would be a part of that because of just the image that people have. Anyway, yeah. The Clothesline Swing by Ahmad Dani Ramadan. The Clothesline Swing. In The Clothesline Swing, Hakawati, a storyteller, prolongs the life of his dying partner by telling story after story about his youth in Damascus. Death joins the couple, eavesdropping on their stories in this debut novel from Syrian refugee and LGBTQ rights activist, Ahmad Dani Ramadan. So this one fascinates me because of just the, this youth in Damascus and the stories that are going to be told. I'm really looking forward to that one. Forgiveness by Mark Sakamoto. The true story of the author's grandparents. Forgiveness follows Mark Sakamoto's maternal grandfather through capture and imprisonment as a POW in Japan during the Second World War, all while his paternal grandmother and her Japanese-Canadian family are interned by their own government in Alberta. This book is a compassionate look at a family's history and an unflinching portrait of Canada's own past. And dude, we've got a past. We've done a lot of really shitty things to people. And I'll be honest, a lot of shitty things is a really understated way to say it. And I think that it's very important that people read books and gather information about our past because I don't want it to happen again. Dance, Gladys, Dance by Cassie Stocks. That's a great way to follow up that statement. I don't want it to happen again. Dance, Gladys, Dance. Okay, winner of the 2013 Leacock Medal for Humor, Cassie Stocks' debut novel is a laugh-out-loud funny look at how community can help us see life differently. Dance, Gladys, Dance follows 27-year-old Frida Zweig as she befriends a truly unlikely group of people and learns that normalcy isn't all it's cracked up to be. I think with the other books on this list, this book is a mandatory read because it's humor. There's got to be something to laugh about in this book. So it's going to be the lighthearted choice. And then finally I've got this book as well because I requested it as soon as I saw it on the list at my library. So this is Seven Fallen Feathers by Tanya Talaga. And in Seven Fallen Feathers, award-winning investigative journalist Tanya Talaga travels to Thunder Bay, Ontario to investigate the deaths of 7 Indigenous teenagers. A finalist for the 2017 Hilary Weston Writers' Trust Prize for Nonfiction, the book explores what the deaths of Jordan Wabas, Kyle Morrisseau, Kiran Strang, Robin Harper, Paul Peniches, Reggie Bushy, and Jethro Anderson can teach us about injustice faced by Indigenous communities on a daily basis. So that's it. Those are the 15 books that have been named as finalists for the CBC Canada Reads Challenge. Now, if you don't know about this the format for this. They actually take this list of 15 books down to 5 books. So 10 books are going to be removed off of the list. And I believe the announcement of the short list happens January 30th. So that's coming up fairly quickly. And once that happens, there's a little break. And in March, the CBC network has a program that they do where famous people defend the books, and I don't know who votes. I think viewers vote for the books they want to stay in the challenge or in the list to the end, based on the defense and the debate that goes on between in the discussions about the books. So I didn't watch as much as I should have last year. I read a couple of the books, and I'm really looking forward to participating in reading the books this year, and maybe even watching or listening to the programs when the CBC actually airs them in March. So I have 2 of the books currently. I've got Scarborough by Catherine Hernandez, and I have 7 Fallen Feathers by Tanya Talaga, and I will be talking to you guys about those as I read them. So look for a video in the next couple of weeks talking about those 2, and then I get to move on and read some other books in the series. So yeah, look for that coming up soon. I'll be talking to you guys later, and let me know if you've read any of these books. I know some of you have, because I've seen them on BookTube, or if you're interested in reading any of these as the award carries on through March. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.